All right, let's just jump right in. There's this technology that kind of just appeared out of nowhere, and honestly, it feels like it's already changing, well, everything. Of course, I'm talking about ChatGPT. You know, the AI that has pretty much set off this massive explosion in the world of artificial intelligence.
So to really get your head around just how big this explosion is, you only need to hear one number. 1 million. That's how many people signed up for ChatGPT right after it launched. But honestly, the number itself, that's not even the craziest part.
The crazy part is how fast it happened. 1 million users in just 5 days. I mean, think about that. The tech world has never, and I mean ever, seen anything like it. And just to put that into perspective for you, it took Twitter 2 years to get to 1 million users. Facebook, the giant, it took them 10 months. ChatGPT, 5 days. This isn't just a little step up, it's a completely different ballgame. So, what is this thing that's causing all this chaos? Let's get into what ChatGPT actually is. Okay, so at its heart, ChatGPT is what's called a large language model, and it was built by a company called OpenAI. Basically, it's been trained on a truly insane amount of text from all over the internet. And because of that, it can understand what you're saying and write back in a way that feels, well, it feels almost creepily human. And the stuff it can do, it's staggering. You can ask it pretty much anything, and it'll give you a solid answer. It can write essays, it can write computer code, it can even write poetry. And it does it all in a ton of different languages. But the real magic, the thing that makes it feel so real, is that it remembers what you've talked about. It follows the conversation, so you don't have to start from scratch every single time. Now, you can probably guess that an AI this smart was going to send some serious shockwaves through society. And yeah, one of the first places to really feel that impact? Education.
So check this out. Researchers at the Wharton School of Business, we're talking a top-tier university, decided to put it to the test. They gave ChatGPT a real, final MBA exam. And this isn't some multiple-choice quiz, we're talking about a complex, graduate-level test on business management. And the result? It passed. With a B, a grade that any human student would be pretty happy with, right? I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This AI is already performing at a graduate school level.
And it wasn't just business school. Over at the University of Minnesota Law School, professors did the same thing. This time with law exams. You know, super complex stuff like constitutional law, taxes, and yeah, it passed those too.
But here's the kicker. The professor who graded the law exams, they had no idea it was an AI. The writing was just that good, that nuanced. It was literally indistinguishable from a top law student's. So as you can imagine, the academic world is in a bit of a panic right now, just trying to figure out what to do. You've got Stanford students getting caught using it for their final papers, you've got entire school districts banning it, and even top academic journals like Science are having to create new rules to screen for AI-written articles.
But these shockwaves didn't just stop at the campus gates. Oh no, the arrival of ChatGPT basically kicked off a full-blown war between the biggest names in tech. I'm talking Microsoft and Google. And what they're fighting for is nothing less than the future of how we all find information.
The battle lines were drawn almost instantly. On one side, you have Google. Their entire empire is built on search, right? Well, they saw ChatGPT as such a massive threat that they literally issued a code red inside the company and rushed to announce their own AI called Bard. Then you have Microsoft. They went all in. They dropped $10 billion into OpenAI and started building ChatGPT right into their Bing search engine. And get this, for the first time in forever, the Bing app was actually getting downloaded more than Google. But in that rush to catch up, Google made a huge mistake. A very public, very embarrassing mistake. In the very first demo of their new AI, Bard, it gave a completely wrong answer to a question about the James Webb Space Telescope. And the fallout was immediate. The market saw that mistake and did not like it. Google's parent company, Alphabet, lost $100 billion in value in a single day. A really painful and really expensive lesson about how high the stakes are in this new AI arms race. Okay, but this whole thing is way bigger than just a fight between two companies. The fact that an AI this powerful even exists forces all of us to ask some really deep, really important questions about where all of this is headed. You know, what's the ultimate impact on humanity? And it really all starts with one simple but also mind-bogglingly complex question. How does an AI like this actually think?
Well, the answer has to do with something called a neural network. It's a system that's kind of inspired by the human brain. It works by crunching just enormous amounts of data, and in the process, it creates its own connections, its own pathways for reasoning. It basically teaches itself. But the result is what they call a black box, because even the engineers who created it can't always explain exactly how it got to a specific answer.
And that right there brings us to the fundamental challenge of our time. We are building these new forms of intelligence that are getting so complex, they might soon be beyond our own ability to understand. So, what happens when we can't control it or even understand it anymore?
This is where you start to hear people talk about the singularity, that theoretical point in time when AI becomes smarter than humans. And there seem to be two very different ways this could go. On one hand, you have the helper scenario. AI becomes this incredible tool that just turbocharges human progress. It helps us cure diseases, solve climate change, you name it. But then there's the other path, the hazard, the Terminator scenario, where this superintelligence we can't control decides humanity is, well, in the way. Or maybe it just doesn't care about us at all. Look, this isn't science fiction anymore. The technology is here, and it's getting better at an incredible speed. So the real question isn't if this is going to change our world, but how. The tool is being built right now as we speak, which really leaves us with one question to think about. Which one of these futures are we building?